Alright guys slash divas, if you were coming to this video for fashion tips, you go ahead and leave. I'm gonna give you something realer than that. I'm gonna give you something more raw than that, alright? I know there are a lot of you out there. You got your fresh Jordans, you got expensive jeans, your shirt fit just perfectly, haircut is fucking fuck boy perfect, and you still can't get laid. And you still feel empty. And you still feel like you gotta fake to get this and fake to get that. Well, I'll have you know, although I'm not the most well-sexed person, I am well-sexed. I didn't need any of that to get women. Never. Never did I get any women when I dressed my best. Always at my rawest. So, I'm very excited to bring you this video. Because if you pay attention to the thumbnail, style has very little to do with fashion. It's a part of it. It's the fourth and fifth definition. But it's the way you do things. It's the way you go about things, man. It's the uniqueness of you. And I'll just hop right into it, because the first tip on how to have more style is to incorporate your uniqueness into everything that you do. Be unorthodox, okay? If in basketball you see most people trying to score first, you pass first, okay? If most people are selfish, you be selfless, you know? If most people write in print all the time, write in cursive, okay? If most people around you like basketball, football, whatever, hey, see what it's, you know, it's okay to like baseball, you know? Nothing forced, of course. Now, if you like basketball, fine, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you put your own unique spin on things. You don't necessarily have to follow the rules, alright? You make your own rules, you know? You don't have to write a goddamn 350-page novel if you don't want to, okay? You don't have to. You can make it as short as you want. You can have as much fun with it as you please. You know? And the way you talk, the way you walk. You know, people like to make fun of the way I walk, because I kind of waddle with like a bounce. And some people confuse it as me trying to fake like a oh, you got a fake little pimp walk, fake gangster walk. It's not that. Although my mindset kind of does depict how I walk and things like that, and I am influenced by the gangster lifestyle and mafia shit as well. I'm flat-footed, man. It's kind of hard to walk when you're flat-footed. It's like you gotta, you know, you're walking forward, but you kind of whoop, 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 whoop. So you're like bouncing, you know. But instead of trying to change it and trying to walk like the regular person, nah, this is how I'm going to walk. And you know, if it's funny, you know, shit, laugh some more, whatever. If it catches your attention, all right, whatever, okay. And yeah, I mean, I don't feel this need to go out and get new clothes all the time. Like, eventually I will, but I still wear clothes from high school. I don't give a fuck, man. It does not matter to me. Which brings me to my second point, because I can speak about uniqueness all the time, but to wrap up the uniqueness, to sum it all up, bring your own unique aspect into things. Don't be afraid to try something new, to try a different approach. That's how you push the envelope. That's how you make advancements. That's how you innovate, okay? So the second one is to you have the badass mentality, okay? And the badass mentality entails that I'm going to do things the way that I want to do. Kind of tying it to my first point, because what I had put beside your uniqueness is to not do what's expected. So I think that's the bridge between uniqueness and being a badass. It's just that you don't do what's expected, you know? People think that it's weird that I cuss around my mom and my grandma and things like that and use it in conversation, but I mean, that's all I've been fed. It's not like they are goddamn nuns and they say, oh, don't use that type of language around me. I mean, goddamn, ever since I was a child, profanity is what I've been fed. And if it seemed any bit of fake, they would call me out on it. But it's really hard to forego it, And I feel no need to use profanity, so it's not like I'm using in every other word. And that's not even my best example. But to be a badass, man, look, I'll go to a bar. I mean, I don't really go out to a bar, but there have been times where I've went to a bar and, most people are socializing and, they got their best clothes on or whatever. And mind you, I'm still wearing average stuff. And instead of socializing, not even because of shyness, and I've dealt with some shyness before, but not because of shyness. Instead of socializing and things like that, I'll have my drink, I'll have my food, and I'll have my notepad with me, writing down ideas, sketching out ideas for my book. That's what I like to do. Okay? And I'm not the type of person who can just take any type of treatment. Alright? Like I do deal with a lot of anxiety. But if somebody feels like they're gonna try to get over on me, I'm calling them out on it. I'm not about to, will you not do me like that, please? No. I got scars on me right now because somebody had me fucked up. I got into a fight not too goddamn long ago because I don't like being beaten down. I've been beaten down quite a bit. I watched my mom get the shit beat out of her when I was a child. I stand up to bullies. I stand up to the opposition. We all bleed the same. Win, lose, or draw, I gotta stand up for myself. Okay? And that doesn't just mean and that does not exclude work life, okay? If people got me fucked up at work, I'll tell them that. Because I am not about to make myself small so somebody else can feel superior. I just won't do that. I will not coax the egos of insecure men, insecure people. Okay? And I don't know if this is just a thing in the black community, but what I have noticed and what has been brought to my attention is that for whatever reason, women kind of poke at aggressive men. Now I understand the whole toxic masculinity thing, and but that's not inherently synonymous with being aggressive. We're supposed to be aggressive by nature if we're truly alpha males. That does not mean that we're attacking you or we gotta enforce our dominance and beat on our chest and hit women and things like that. That's not my approach. But I'm not about to compromise who I am because I'm aggressive. Okay? Now, I'm not perfect in my delivery all the time. That is true. But if you compromise yourself, you're just putting yourself in a box. You're shaving your edges to, fit into everyone else's mold, the expected mold. You gotta be a badass. You gotta be badass enough to go after what you want, to know what you want, to not entertain everything else because you see most people doing it. You gotta be badass enough to be like, well, this doesn't really interest me, so I'm gonna go ahead and sit this one out. Or, I don't really care about, what everybody is chattering about. I don't really, I'm not entertaining what the news wants everybody to be freaked out about or be excited about. And it's such a freeing thing, man. It's no ball and chains, no whips, no obligations, unwritten obligations that you have to adhere to what society expects of you. I live by code, so it's not like I don't, but as long as I'm not living outside of my code, as long as I'm not beating up women and fucking children up and raping people and robbing and killing the innocent, still, just all those things, as long as I'm not doing that, hey, look, it's my fucking rules. This is my fucking life. I ain't harming anybody. But a lot of people get offended when you try to live life in your own unique way, and that guilt that they enforce on you, it kind of pushes you to play along, to kind of conform. But you gotta understand that you're a goddamn animal. Alright? And animals are meant to go after what they want. Now, us being humans, we have discernment. We have the understanding that, okay, this isn't right to do to people. This isn't right to do to other people. But outside of that, man, we have a lot of freedom. Nor should we want to hurt the innocent. You know, nor should we want to take from people just because we want it. I mean, now when I say go after what you want, I don't mean at the expense of others, okay? But I mean it's your fucking God-given right to go after what you want, all right? It's your right. And we compromise ourselves so much because we can just feel the envy of others, feel the jealousy, feel the hate in their words and their influence, and we play ourselves small and try to fit into a mold and try to give people what we think they would like of us. But man, fuck that shit, man. Fuck that. That's not the way to go. It's never been the way to go. So you gotta be a badass in that regard. And finally, no comparisons. I don't spend too much time paying attention, only in research, but I don't spend too much time paying attention to what all these other people doing. When they posting this shit on Facebook, new house, new car, new wedding, new fucking phone, I don't care, bro. I'm worried about my mission right here. That's how I go about life. So when we speak about style, it's just not the way that you do things. It's not the way that you fuck. It's not just the way that you write, the way that you draw, the way that you take in information, the way that you sit, the way that you walk, the way that you dress. It's all of those things. But it's your philosophy on life. It's your approach to life. And you have to be creative in that manner as well. You have to be a student. And I don't think most people are students after they graduate high school or after they graduate college. And that will set you apart. That's more style for you, man. And in doing these three things, even though it's 3 topics, but I gave you a lot of info within it. But in doing all of this, people have given me quite a decent reception. Now, a lot of people, they just don't fucking understand me. But the people who don't understand me, the people who have the most to say about me, they're not my people. They're not the ones that I want to grow with anyway. They're not the ones that I really want to break bread with. They're not the people I really want on my team. And I see a lot of these people as conformists who don't even really know who they are, who's living inside of a box, who think because every woman on Instagram putting filters on their goddamn pictures, hey, I gotta do it too. Or because every woman is videotaping themselves and lip syncing to a goddamn song, it's like, hey, I gotta do that shit too. But no. And and the man's version, I don't know what the man's version is. I talk about how freaky they are or what have. I don't know what men do because I don't add a lot of men on Facebook or whatever. And whatever. But in doing all of this, you're obviously not going to get 100% good feedback, and that's when you should know that you're actually, you're living a life that's I'd say more so favorable. If you know you're truly being yourself, and you got people opposing you, and you got people rallying behind you, then I'd say you're pretty aligned with who you should be. But still expand on it, because one thing that I realize is that, even the people who rally behind you right now, as you start to grow, they may shift away from you. You know what I'm saying? So when I used to, for example, on Facebook, when I used to talk a lot about spiritual stuff and, the government this, the government that, I had certain people rallying behind me. And then when I started talking about a lot of black things and the advancement of black people and, black this, black that, or whatever, then a lot of people want to call me racist and shit. You can't win if you're trying to please everybody, bro. That's just how it goes, and you got to be okay with that. All right. So take a unique approach to everything you do. Be a badass. Fuck what they say. Fuck what they say. As long as you putting good into the world, as long as you trying to get better, you ain't harming anybody in a way where. Yeah, as long as you ain't harming anybody. I was about to try to explain the ins and outs, but as long as you aren't harming anybody according to the code, whatever your code may be, hopefully you have a nice righteous code where you don't harm the innocent. As long as you got that going, and as long as you aren't comparing yourself to the people out west, up north, south, east, you should be fine, man. That's style right there, okay? If you want to get yourself some nice clothes, go ahead, but this ain't about that, homie. Alright, take care.